Hey, so one of my favorite times of the end of winter, or one of my favorite things about the end of winter, is tapping maple trees and making some syrup. I got Kai here, the man, helping me out. Watch out for the mud, or don't watch out for the mud, you got your boots. So we're gonna go tap some maple trees. We have all hardwoods here. Lots of shagbark hickory, that's this stuff over here. You can kind of make your own syrup out of shagbark hickory, but you have to use your own sugar, which is kind of the pros, is you get to pick like a really good cane sugar or whatever, but shagbark syrup is really tasty, kind of like maple. You can tap sycamore trees, that's that white one over there. You just don't get as high of sugar content out of a sycamore. But maples are obviously the ones you want to do because they have the highest sugar content. So there's really just two things, well I guess three things to it. You have to identify maples, you have to put a tap in them, and then you have to boil down the syrup, boil down the sap until you get syrup. That's really all there is to it. So identifying a maple tree is really easy. Let's see, grab a leaf. Really easy when there's leaves because you just basically get the Canada leaf, you know, Canada. When there's no leaves, or when there are no leaves on the trees, it's a little trickier. But there's pretty good information online on how to do it. It's not too bad. I remember a few of my favorite trees from last year, some of the good producers. So we're gonna add some extra taps to those. This boy is my favorite. It's a nice big one. You have to do a minimum of ones that are, is it 18 inches across or 8 inches across? I don't remember. But this one's nice because it's like a really big mature maple tree. We're gonna do some good stuff with this guy. So the first thing we wanna do is find our taps from last year. There's a tap from last year. You don't wanna put it in the exact same spot, you know, move it over some. You do wanna tap the south side of the tree because that gets the sun and heats up the most. So really the biggest, I guess, intimidation thing that people deal with is when do I actually tap the trees? You do it when it's below freezing at night and above freezing during the day. But if you tap it too early, you just don't get any sap flow, but then your taps are in place. So it's not like you can really mess it up. You're not gonna kill the tree unless you tap a tree that's way too small or add just a ton of taps. So yeah, it's actually healthy for the tree to tap it. So we got this one right here, and we got another one. So we're just gonna kind of move over and add 2 more taps, and we should start getting sap flowing. And sap flows by the gallon. The boil down ratio is something like 30-to-1 or whatnot, which means you're gonna get like 30 gallons of sap per gallon of syrup you want. I forget what the exact ratio is. And so you boil all that down. And that is, yeah, that's how you make syrup. All right, so you just got your drill. And you wanna drill and kind of at an upward angle so everything flows down. Oh yeah, you can see there's already sap coming out. Wow, yeah. It's a warm day, it's like 45 degrees. Now, if you don't get that and you wanna be certain you got a maple, just smell your drill bit and it kind of smells like a little bit like maple syrup after you've drilled into it. So now you just get a tap in there. And I don't even need a hammer. I forgot my hammer, but that's fine. And now, boom, we have sap flowing. Gonna get one of these 5-gallon food grade buckets that I got at Home Depot for like $4 each. And this will go into there. I'm just going to maybe drill some holes in a lid so nothing else gets in. Already got a little dirt and debris. It's fine. It's like vegetables, right? They come out of the ground, maybe some dirt on them, you wash it off. Exact same thing with syrup. You filter it out, boil it out. Dirt is not evil, people. All the best food in the world comes out of dirt. So, you can already see we got quite a bit in there. If you were to drink this, it just tastes like water. It doesn't taste like anything special. There you go. Let's get another one and get the lid on. Check out hole number 2 right there. Instantly, like sap just pouring out. Now this happens because it's really warm today. It's almost 50 degrees, which means that sap is flowing awesomely. Awesome, flowing well, whatever that means. There we go. Second one in, we'll get that in the bucket, we'll get the lid on the bucket, move on to our next tree. What do you think about that, man?
It's cool.
High five? Let's go get another one. Woo! So depending on time of year and how well it's flowing, this bucket might get a gallon or more a day. That's a good sized tree, 2 taps in it. We might be making syrup next weekend with 10 or more gallons.
Yeah.
Cool, cool. I did a better job with my tap placement on this tree. I did them a little higher, that way we get much more flow of gravity straight down to the bucket. On the other one I put them more about here, which meant they didn't go down as much. I'll just probably get a slightly better flow off of this tree. Now what I did last year, instead of using the 5-gallon buckets, I used a bunch of I kept protein powder containers and stuff all year long, drilled holes in them. The problem is on a really nice warm day, when it had been really cold and got really warm, these things would fill up by noon. And I was just changing them way more often, so I went with a few 5-gallon food grade buckets that I will be able to just reuse and reuse and reuse. So that's it. That is how you tap maple trees. In the next video, we'll show you how to make syrup out of it. Woohoo!